Hey everyone, Gina Doyle and Darren Eastman here, part of the runner group. And today we're going to go over the 15.7 milestone planning issue that we have. I'll start off with going over the runner fleet category / group that we have. And so I'll share my screen. And just as a reminder, I'll just show the category direction page here. Runner Fleet is focused on providing an area where you can manage all of your build agents and environments at enterprise scale. So we want to make this as easy as possible for you. And then as part of our vision, we're going to be delivering more of a centralized view with all these different management capabilities and predictive analytics in the future. And today, what we are taking on for development within Runner Fleet, one of them is around paginating the shared runners in the project CI/CD settings area. You can have tons of shared runners, especially when you're on GitLab.com. We supply lots of shared runners. So if we are able to paginate that, it will give the page more improved performance, and then also just allow you to find them quicker. Another thing that we're going to be taking on is indicating if a runner is busy or not. And this is something that we're really excited to do. Today, there's no easy way to tell if a runner is currently running a job. So we'll be adding basically a runner badge that allows you to see if it's running a job or if it's idle at the moment. And then for UX, for 15.7, I'll be working on providing an estimated wait time for instance runners. This is our MVC for more of the runner fleet queue monitoring area. We're really excited for this because we know that a lot of people need more insight into how long jobs will take to be picked up and how busy your runners are over time. And we think that by providing this first feature, we can continue to build on it and provide you more metrics around your estimated waiting times for your runners. And I'll pass it to Darren for Runner Core and SaaS.
Hey, Gina, thanks so much. Hey, everyone. So let me share my screen really fast. And I'll talk about a few key things that are important to note for Runner Core piece of the Runner group. Specific to Runner SaaS, we don't have anything planned to ship in 15.7. I don't have the planning issue in front of me right now, but we are continuing to work on moving the ball forward with getting set up for moving our Mac OS runners to limited availability. So that's a key piece of work that we're working on. And in parallel, we're also doing a bunch of work that's going to eventually cross back over to the Runner Core team. We're doing a bunch of work on the next Runner auto-scaling architecture. So things like some of the alpha releases for what we're calling the fleeting plugin that's part of our task scaler technology. You'll see some of that coming out in 15.7. But the main goal that we're working on for the Runner SaaS team is really on macOS for the back half of Q4. For Runner Core 57 specifically, just like 15.6 and 55 in the previous releases, first order of priority for us is on any like super important high priority issues, typically security vulnerabilities and those types of things. I don't have anything quite on the docket yet for that in 15.7, so that looks like we're going to have some capacity for other things in 15.7. So beyond that, the next level of work that we always want to focus on is on our aged bug backlog. And so you can see here under the Runner Core category, we have a number of bugs that we would have liked to get to in 15.7. And so that's, again, we'll continue to invest in burning down the age bug backlog. The one caveat I want to call out is that we also had some bugs planned in 15.6. We did resolve a few bugs in 15.6. There are still a few bugs open, so those will roll over once we lock the 15.6 release. We'll see which bugs from 15.6 that did not get fixed will have to roll over 15.7. So this plan will adjust a tad bit, but the takeaway is first order of business is we'll continue to invest in reducing our backlog of aged severity 2 bugs in the Runner Core category. From a new features perspective, And actually, I should have called this out here. There's a new bug here on the runner core. It was labeled the priority 1, and it's variable expansion with default paths no longer works with artifacts. And this came in since 15.5. And the reason this bug is there is that in 15.5, we had to release a feature to take care of a security issue. And there were a couple of edge cases related to artifact handling, and specifically variables and paths and artifact handling that was affected as a result of that feature set. And so that's the bug. In order to resolve that bug, we are proposing a new feature in Runner. We're calling it the passing values between job steps. And what this will enable users to do is to be able to set a script level environment variable that can then be passed to other stages of the pipeline. And so we believe that this capability will resolve most of the edge cases, or most of the use cases, I should say, to be more accurate, that customers are reporting on that other bug. So the pass values between job steps is a brand new feature in GitLab Runner Core, and that we're hoping to ship in 15.7, which is in a response to us having to fix some issues that came out that are categorized here on this bug, the variable expansion with default no longer works bug. The other important feature that we have picked up in 15.7 for Runner Core is related to variable handling from HashiCorp Vault. And this is the ability for us to correctly mask any secrets, any variables that are stored in HashiCorp Vault. And so there's some additional work that we did. There's some pre-work that we did on this a few releases back in Runner, where we added support for continuing masking of variables over 4 KB in size. And this is the last piece of work to ensure that any variables stored in HashiCorp Vault are masked fully so that they're not exposed in the job logs. So the goal would be in 15.7 to add the remaining piece of work in Runner that takes care of masking those variables. So from a new feature perspective, those are the 2 things that are super important that we'll need to get done in 15.7. One other feature I want to call out too that's super interesting as well is in the Kubernetes Runner, in the Kubernetes Executive for Runner, this concept that was driven initially by community MR, the ability to override or overwrite the node selector configuration for the GitLab Runner on Kubernetes. Today, as a user of the Kubernetes Executive, you can set the node selectors, but you have to set that in your config.yaml and your config.toml file. And you can't necessarily overwrite or override that in your pipeline file. And so what we want to be able to do, which will unlock a lot of interesting use cases for customers on platforms like Google GKE Autopilot, is the ability to override the node selector within the pipeline, which gives you a lot of flexibility in terms of what you can do with hosting runners on K8s. So you're now enabling the configuration setting of what type of compute class your pod or your runner pod actually then create on Google just by the ability to define that in the pipeline file. So this is a really super interesting feature that I'm hoping that we can get done in 15.7. It's a really interesting piece of capability that unlocks a number of great bits of potential for runners on K8s. So that's it in terms of what we have planned for Runner Core. Any parting words, Sheena, from your side?
No, nothing else from my side. Thanks so much for watching, assuming you are watching. And please feel free to always leave us any feedback, contact us if you would want to talk about anything that we spoke about today or any pain points. We are welcome to hear about it.
Cheers, everyone. Bye-bye.